everyone, and welcome to Club Live here at Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are live on YouTube tonight, so if you could get your comments in, that'd be much appreciated. Also, we are very close to the 6,000k mark in terms of subscribers. So, again, just click a like. It's free to subscribe to the channel. So, again, if we could get there, ideally before the Celtic game, that would be a target for us. Again, much appreciated. So I am here tonight hosting. I was supposed to be here last Friday, but the darts took me. I felt, I'll be honest, absolutely horrific on Friday. So yes, I've let the guys down. That was a yellow card for me, and I was supposed to be on during the week, but my laptop gave up on Monday morning. But yes, I'm back here. We've got a full house tonight. First of all, Jamie, how are you tonight, Jamie?
We're taking those poor excuses from you, mate. Don't worry, that's fine.
At least I've got a sign in the darts for you.
Mate, you did. See that sign in the retweets on Twitter. It more than made up for it, by the way. More than made up for it. No, I'm very well. It's good to be here. We're top of the league. Europa draw today, Benfica, and we've got a glorious Belgian man in charge of us. So life is sweet at the moment, boys.
Yeah, it's yes, everything's quite positive for Rangers at the moment. I try to keep my feet in the ground because you know what football's like; it can turn awfully quickly. But yes, it is very good at the moment. And next, last but not least, we have Nicky as well. Nicky, how are you tonight?
Good, thank you, mate. I feel like it's been a while since I've been on a podcast with you, but it's been a weird week, hasn't it? Because we've not had a midweek fixture, so it's been relatively quiet. But we've obviously got the bonus of the Europa League draw this morning and a massive game, top of the form table clash tomorrow. So hopefully Rangers will get another strong result.
Yes, we have. And Mr. Scott Carney, who wasn't supposed to be on tonight, but he's shown dedication and he's unlike myself last Friday, and he's here for everyone.
I love how the two new boys are still not letting you away with your terrible excuses, man. Terrible excuses.
Carney, if you'd seen me. Honestly, if you'd seen me, I'd be no use to this podcast last Friday.
Yeah, my laptop's broken. Right, very good. To be fair, your camera looks a bit better, so I'll say that you probably do have a new laptop, mate. So I'll give you your juice there. But yes, I know I wasn't due to be on tonight, but I am. I'm here. So hello everybody, hello chat. Plenty to get into tonight.
Yeah, no, we do have a lot to get into tonight. Obviously, there's we talked about our top of the league. The Europa League draw happened today at 11 o'clock. The presser, we've got Hearts coming this weekend. It's there's a lot to get into. But first of all, before we get into it, Jamie and Carney were at Edmondson House on Tuesday to get their True Blue Heroes Award. Jamie, I've seen you and how first of all, how was the event? And also, I've seen you and Carney with Mr. Kamar Roof. So I take it's down to the two of you that, spoiler alert, Kamar Roof is available for tomorrow.
Well, he didn't actually hobble onto the stage, do you know what I mean? So I think that's probably a good sign.
Was he craned on?
Aye, yeah. He was actually stretchered onto the stage. But no, it was absolutely brilliant night. I'm sure Scott agreed. It was really good. It was obviously great to be invited. We raised that money to Live Night Boys, and it was a good amount of money. So good to be there and meet other supporters that have obviously went above and beyond for the charity and have obviously raised a good amount of money. The steak pie was phenomenal, by the way. Like food's always top of the line for me. So it was really good, and overall it was good to be there and be invited.
Yeah, Carney, obviously, you met your hero, Kamar Roof, there as well. So he actually looks a lot smaller, Kamar Roof, when he was in between the two of you there. But did he say anything to Kamar Roof? I take it you might have asked him something in terms of when you're going to be fit, but...
You kind of get thrust onto the stage, like, right. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and Kamar's standing there with a medal, and you're like, thanks very much. And before I go any further, we were there accepting the True Blues Heroes Awards on behalf of the podcast. It's all of the lads' award. That's not just Jamie and I. It's for all of us, generally for all of us, and it's for you amazing people that were at the live show that helped us raise such an amazing amount. So we thank you for allowing us to get that kind of opportunity. I was saying to Jamie as we sat down, it was very much imposter syndrome. I was kind of going, should should we be here? Should I really be sitting here? Should I? And then meeting Kamar, I didn't actually say anything to Kamar. With me and Jamie were probably more concerned. They were doing everybody's picture individually, and Jamie and I were obviously like, well, no, we won't want together because it was for the sake of the pod kind of thing. But I get pushed up first and got a picture taken, and I just kind of hovered next to Kamar, like I'm just waiting for my mate to come up so I can get a picture of the three of us. And the guys just, Kamar's like, yeah, no bother. And then the woman that was giving Kamar the medal, she was like, oh, there's always one. I was like, sorry, so we need a kind of group photo, social media and all that kind of stuff. But no, it was brilliant, mate. There's so many people doing so many good causes. The Rangers Charity Foundation have been excellent with us, really, and the amount of money they're raising and the projects that they're involved in is very good things that they are doing for the community, for people less fortunate than ourselves. And yeah, it was a real pleasure to be invited along and to do so. As I say, it was on behalf of the podcast that we were there. Even though me and Jamie ended up at a table ourselves, so pretty much all of us could have been there. I wasn't going to say that, but such is life. I have now. I was kind of like, Jamie, they could have definitely been here, but it must have been well over 200 people there anyway, for sure.
Well, we could actually had a team of 8 there with us, by the way, so we'll know that for next year. So
we will know that for next year. Yeah, we'll know that for next year. But no, it was brilliant, and you got a pint in a glass in Edmonton House, mate. It blew my mind. See, when the guy put out the Menabrea glass and started pouring a pint, I was like, hang on a second. I was like, we getting a glass, mate? He was like, aye. I was like, whoa. I was like, we've made it. I was like, Jamie, we've made it. We're getting a glass in Edmonton House. But no, look, terrific. Honestly, terrific. A really great occasion. A proud moment for myself as well, and in terms of the podcast as well. It's a really good thing to be involved in. And yeah, Kamar Roof. All I said to him was, is there any bakeries open? And he says, I don't know, I'm in the squad on Saturday.
Yeah, no, it looked good, to be honest. And as you say, it's for everyone that was at the Loudon that night and helped us raise all the money. And hopefully, I'd like to think if we do a live show in the summertime, we can go beyond that figure that we raised in January and raise some more money for the Rangers Charity Foundation. But no, good cause. So moving on, obviously Rangers are top of the league, which kind of blows my mind because way back, Carney, I think after Aberdeen, I came out and said when we drew at Aberdeen, I went, this is the reason Rangers will not win the league this season. And to look at it now, it's beyond belief for me, but we'll get into that. But before that, because Rangers are top of the league, obviously the usual suspects get wheeled out, the media circus, as I would call it. Alan Stubbs was the first one to come out, who said that Philip Clement has won nothing. Sorry, Al. Did you not see that League Cup? Did you not see the titles he won in Belgium and stuff? And another guy that I had a hairdo for the 1980s, the guy, I think his name was Park or something, never heard of him, going on about James Tavernier. Here we go, going on about James Tavernier. James Tavernier and five guys on PLZ, but let's just be said about it, is basically a moon-howling Celtic podcast. Nicky, come to you because the lads have had a wee talking, obviously, with about the Charity Foundation. What is all this about? Is this solely because we are top of the league at the moment and nobody likes it?
I think that's exactly it, mate. I think we've kind of come to expect this now, haven't we? It seems we get loads of this around the 55 season. I remember the infamous Jackie McNamara. They're not that good a team. I mean, they went the full league without losing a game, right? They conceded a British record, 12 or 13 goals through the season, but according to Jackie McNamara. I mean, PLZ, right? I think I made a comment the other day that you have to take their hat off to them. They have a conveyor belt of idiots that they just wheel out week after week, and each one seems an even bigger daft ass than the last one. The Snubs comment, I mean, they just stick their head in the sand sometimes, these people, don't they? They just stick, and it's almost just like, I don't want to make myself aware of what's going on round about us. And I mean, God, I mean, even if Tav was in Five Guys, who gives a shit? I don't know how he managed to get and applaud the fans, a shower, changed on the team bus, pick up his Range Rover and end up back in the city centre in an hour for Perth, by the way, but fair play to him. But no, I think it's just, historically, this is what we see. They wheel these morons out to almost, I think, cover up some of the aspects of their own team's failings. And to be honest, I would like to think that Clement, and particularly Clement, is professional enough that he will pay no attention to this outside noise. And that's exactly what this squad has to do, right? We have to continue to focus on the next game, as Clement has. That has been his mantra since he came in, and that is now coming off in the squad as well. And if we just keep winning games, they can talk about five guys and not being that good a team as much as they want, right? If we continue to win games and we continue to put in the form that we've seen since Clement came in, I think if you look in the league, 49 points out of 54, it's like an 89, 90% win ratio. That's title winning form. If he continues that, Rangers will win the title. It's as simple as that. If we continue with the 12 remaining games at 89% win ratio, we will win the title. So, we continue on, and we do what they do. We stick our heads in the sand and we don't pay any attention to the nonsense that's going on around us about us at the minute.
Yeah, can't. I mean, I don't really give a monkey's what they say, but it is quite funny, to be honest, when these guys. I mean, Alan Stubbs one for me is just sums up who Alan Stubbs is, man. I mean, for God, do your research first before you come on these things. But it's quite amusing because you think of where we were months ago. We were a joke of a team months ago to where we are now. And thanks very much, Kelly Pie, for your £5 super sticker. Is that Chris Boyd? Keen as that? Don't know. But, yeah, Carney. It's. I mean, we take it with a pinch of salt here, but it just shows that Rangers been top of the league, and as Nicky was saying in the podcast, nobody likes us, but we don't care.
They have to have something to cling on to. They don't like to look at their own kind of failings. Look as well, and I'm not going to. Rangers have been excellent under Clement, and we very much deserve the credit that we have in order to get to where we've got to, being 2 points top, 2 points top, 2 points top. But the thing with Celtic have regressed. Like we can't say they haven't. Of course they have. But at the end of the day, they can sit and they can fill their heads with Rangers aren't very good and everything's going to be okay because they're desperate for reassurance. The thing that's perfect about this, and this is why the idiots are getting rolled out, is because they can't play the victim card here. There is nothing for them to hide behind. It's not because Rangers have had more penalties, because they've had more penalties than we have. It's all these kind of things that they've got no victim card just now, so they have to just try and pick holes in anything. Clement's not a very good manager. Rangers don't have a very good squad. We probably don't have I think a lot of us would agree, most of us would agree that the squad's probably not where we would expect it to be in terms of the quality and the depth that we have. But look what Clement has done. I love it, mate. I do. I don't live for it, but it's almost, it just kind of makes me feel even better about the situation that we find ourselves in as a team. So they can fill their boots as far as I'm concerned. The perfect thing is they make themselves look even worse when they come out and say things. The Stubbs won the perfect example. He's not won anything. I'm sorry, Alan. Sorry, Alan. Yeah, moron. He has won something. It's brilliant, mate. And I say, if we win a treble, can you imagine? Can you imagine the meltdown if that was to happen? That's all. It all adds to the enjoyment of this, mate. It really does. We're not naive enough. All of us as fans, even talking to the broader Rangers, a broader spectrum of the Rangers support. We know there's a long way to go. There is a long way to go. There's a lot of ups and downs still to come in this league. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Things are going to happen. But it's been a long time since we had the bragging rights, and they don't like it, and I do. That is what it all comes down to. I was speaking to a customer today at my work, and as soon as he seen me, he was like, "I don't want to talk to you," because he's been giving it me tight for about 2 years now. For about just over 2 years, I think I've been dealing with him, and he's been giving me it tight. But it was a real pleasure to see him today. But it was all done in the right way, of course. But yeah, the rolling out of the idiots, mate. Let it continue. It's good content to sit and look at when you're bored on a Wednesday night and you've got to flick through stuff to see what's on Twitter. It's brilliant.
Yeah, Jamie, I take it Bisgrove will be approaching Five Guys for the sponsorship deal. That'll be the next one for us.
I mean, if he's not on to Five Guys for a 10-year sponsorship deal, by the way, he's not doing a very good job. Just sack him right now. But honestly, see, in all seriousness, right, when this stuff starts happening, it's no wonder that our fans get their news from guys like us and
100%.
handed it, because honestly, they wheel out these guys, and it seems to be when the pressure's on. It seems to be. I remember the 55 season as well, as Nicky pointed out, the thing with Jackie McNamara. It's almost to unsettle, and as you just said, it's the league is nowhere near done. It's 2 points. We all know it's going to go to the wire. It's going to go to the wire. We'll need to be faultless to not obviously drop any points. So it will go to the wire. So look, bring it on. If they want to keep rolling out these absolute dafties to try and unsettle us in the so-called media, honestly, what that guy with the curtains, man, it was a comedy sketch. I felt as if I was watching American Office or something like that. It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's like when only excuse used to do Frank McAvenny or something like that, wasn't it? That's what his hairstyle was like.
Aye, it was like an actual documentary. It was I'd have a second take. It looked completely set up. So no, I think like in the long run, like if they want to just keep getting these guys out, fair dues. Our gaffer and our team, they're going to pay no mind to it, and us as fans as well, we'll just laugh it off as per usual.
Yeah, I just thought we'd have a bit of fun with it tonight, because it's as we say, we are top of the league and certain people don't like it and they're coming out with nonsense. I think it's good banter, especially in WhatsApp groups and Twitter and that this week. It's been a good laugh, and especially that there's not been a midweek game as well, so we've had a full week to kind of enjoy it. But Carney, we are now top of the league. We are 2 points clear of Celtic. But as we've just discussed there's a long way to go. There's twists and turns in this title race. Rangers have been pretty much faultless, but there probably will be a bump in the road somewhere. And when we have that bump, I hope folk don't throw their toys out the pram. I hope the bump doesn't come, but it's football. At the end of the day, we've some big games coming up. But now we are sitting top of the league, Carney, with 2 points, going into Hearts tomorrow to potentially stretch it to 5 before we kick a ball. It's a different pressure for Rangers now. They're leading now. Rangers haven't led. Yeah, they led in the 55 season, but they were miles ahead. That wasn't really a pressure. This is pressure now. This Rangers team haven't led when it's this tight. So it's it'll be interesting how we react tomorrow. And obviously we'll come on to Hearts, but just in terms of where we are in the league.
No, I get where you're coming from. I think we need to ride this crest of a wave that we're on just now for as long as we can, because Clement doesn't like talking about momentum, but momentum is very much on our side right now. Nobody really fancies playing Rangers. I think even Hearts will be they'll be a wee bit. They'll probably be as excited about the game as what we are, because they'll be thinking we are playing good, they're playing good, we're probably in for a spectacle of a game. That's what you'd like to hope. You hope it's a real spectacle for the neutral. I hope it doesn't turn out like that and Rangers win 18-0, but I can't see that happening. But the Rangers are the informed team, and so are Hearts very much just now. I think Ibrox, we'll come to that later on. But the difference I feel this time round is previous teams have had the chance to take the opportunity to close the gap, to take the lead in the title race, and we didn't do so. They fell at pretty much every single hurdle that we got to take that opportunity. The manner that we've done it in, it's not been like scraping past, if you know what I mean, like, and it's not really enjoyable football, and it's kind of you can see that the bumps may be coming. I don't really see that. The Aberdeen game was probably closer than it needed to be. I thought Rangers were very much the better team that night. I think the scoreline maybe flattered Aberdeen slightly. Don't want to be too disrespectful. Ross County should have been a cricket score. Genuinely should have been a cricket score. And against St Johnstone, it was as easy as you like. It's the most routine win that you can actually ask for going up to a place like that. And I think it's the manner of the way that it's happened this time that's given me a bit more belief, because I've completely bought into Clement. I've completely bought into what he's doing, the style of football that he's trying to play, the momentum, the mentality that he's changing the players around into, and the way that he's got them thinking about things. This is as much a test as it is catching up to them at the top of the league. This is just as much a test now going forward. I'm not. There is going to be ups and downs. There are absolutely no doubt about it. But right now, I still very much feel Rangers are still on the incline. At some point, we'll plateau. It will happen. We'll have a game where we'll probably all say to each other after it, "What the hell was that? What did we just watch? Where did that come from?" It's natural. It is going to happen. Happens to the best teams in the world. Happens to Man City. Happens to Real Madrid. Happens to everybody. But right now, I feel like I can't really see it coming yet. You can't really see signs of it coming. So tomorrow is huge. And every game for the rest of the season is going to be huge. But as I say, the way that we've managed our business this time round gives me a bit of belief that I think these players are right up for this, and I think they've bought into Clement.
Yeah, Nicky, obviously, as we're talking there in terms of the pressure of now being leading this league at the moment, but two big games come up for me. Hearts, we'll talk about Hearts, but they're flying. Kilmarnock away for me is that dodgy one in that part Wednesday night for me. That's massive for me, Kilmarnock, but we'll come on to that. But what's your thoughts now that Rangers are now at the top of the league leading it in terms of looking down? To me, they've now got an opportunity to put the foot on the neck of Celtic and see if they have the bottle for it, basically.
Yeah, 100%. I think Scott and I briefly spoke about it the other night. I think it's great to officially be top. I think obviously we had opportunities. The Aberdeen game and the Ross County game, we could have went top on goal difference, but let's be honest, goal difference is a nonsense at this time of the season, particularly when you're talking about 1 or 2 goals. It'll make very little difference. Goal difference is probably only relevant the final day, really, right? When you look back at sort of maybe like the 02-03 season when we won the treble and it was all down to goal difference, it was probably a nonsense. But I think massive psychological boost, I think, for the squad to officially go top. I think Scott and I had spoke again, what was it, first time in probably 18 months, I think, we'd been top of the table. And yeah, it is a completely different type of pressure. I don't know about you three, but I think it's a better pressure. And I'm saying that through experience of what us and this squad have been through in 4 of probably the last 5 seasons. I hated playing catch up. And I hated when they would win on a Saturday and all the pressure would be on us on Sunday to close the gap. Whatever the point differential was, the pressure is massive to close the gap. So I actually think it's a better pressure that, listen, we have a massive game tomorrow that we're all very much looking forward to, but it's a nice pressure to have. Yeah, we need to win the game, but the rewards at the end of it's massive. The reward isn't just that, you know what, we've clawed back a wee bit the deficit. The reward is we could go 5 points clear. And when you think about where we were, that's massive. And you're right, I agree with what you've said, Ali, as well as Scott. It will be very, very interesting to see how Celtic deal with this, because their squad has never really had to deal with this. Even the 55 season, they were so far behind from such an early point because of the COVID fiasco, and I think they were playing catch-up with games. So they were already miles behind very early on in the season. We obviously got a brilliant result at Celtic Park. So there's not really been an occasion, other than maybe when Postecoglou came in. I think Gio was maybe 5 or 6 points ahead, and they maybe closed it there. But really, they've had it pretty easy, far too easy for my liking, if you look at the last sort of 8, 9, 10 seasons. So it will be very interesting, excuse me, that roles are reversed and how Celtic, as well as us, will deal with the flip of pressure. I think I agree as well. I think we've got 12 games left. It would be great if we go through and win all 12. I don't think we will. We've won 9 on the spin since we lost the Old Firm game at the turn of the year. That is as flawless as you'll get. So I do suspect there will be a bump in the road, but it very much looks as if there will be bumps on the road at the other side of the city as well. I think if you're Rangers, we have, 5, maybe 6 games to go before we meet for the Old Firm. I think the objective for Rangers just now should be we maintain a 2-point gap, if not more, get into that game. And I think that puts you in a brilliant position. You've then got an Old Firm at home. You've got the opportunity to go potentially 5 points clear if you win it, get into a final game, I think, before the split. That's where I think Rangers should be. And I think they are. I think Clement and the squad are very aware that there may be a bump in the road, but there's likely going to be a bump on the road as well. And the key thing, as you boys say, is we can't panic. We just need to keep going, and we hope that there will be a bump over the other side of the road as well, and we can build up however point lead we want before we get into the Old Firm and ultimately the split.
Yeah, Jamie, it's a good place to be at the moment, but as I say, it is different pressure. But I think this Rangers team have convinced us, if you want to say. In previous seasons, we've been in situations like this and we've fallen flat in our face. But under this Clement, under Philip Clement, there's a belief. They've brought a belief back into the crowd. You can tell at Ibrox, Jamie, there's no moans and groans, I would say, at Ibrox when Rangers have been 1-0 down, or 1-0 up, or one each, or whatever it is. Everyone's quite confident in this Rangers team at the moment, and there seems to be a belief now going to Ibrox that this Rangers team can cope with the pressure.
Well, I mean, talking about obviously being at the summit, we've got guys in the squad and in the team that were there during the 55 season. We've got Tav, we get Golson, and we get Borna too. Look, it looks like Borna's going to feature because the games are coming thick and fast. I actually think he played pretty well when he played at St Johnstone that week as well. So, no, we just need to keep momentum up. I mean, talking at Ibrox in the atmosphere that the fans are creating at the moment, the Aberdeen game, I mean, I know it felt like we kind of snuck that win. It was a very tight 2-1, wasn't it? But the atmosphere that night was like Europa League Thursday level, right? It needs to be that standard for the rest of the season. I always see folk on Twitter talking about it. We need to have Ibrox being a proper called-in on a Saturday 3 p.m, even if it's a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night. There's going to be games coming where fans need to turn up, and it might be a game at home to Livy or a game at home at Ross County. These games are no different because these are potential banana skin games. So we just need to keep momentum going. I'm with Nicky and Scott. I think being on top of the league so much better than chasing. And as I say, I do genuinely believe that these players are going to be able to handle it.
Yeah. No, I really hope so. As a Rangers fan,
Ali, as well, what you have to remember is the difference in attitude between the two fans. This isn't something that's been tight from the start. It's Rangers have clawed it back and Celtic are going down the way. They're in meltdown. They're not happy with their seeing.
It's a 9 points. It's a 9 point swing. If you look at it,
they're upset with their manager. They're upset with their team. Whereas we are building something with Clement. Hence, I think the understanding and patience and the support is very much on our side. If they struggle again at home against another team, they'll not deal with it at all. Do you know what I mean? If they are 0-0 at half time against whoever it may be, I've got no idea who they're playing, Ross County or whoever it may be, they'll not be very happy. Whereas we're being more patient because we believe that something's going to happen, if that makes sense. We're playing the better football, there's no doubt.
Yeah, no, they are playing good football, Rangers, and tomorrow for me will come on to Hearts, but tomorrow's it's massive for me in terms of the title race tomorrow, in terms of psychologically as well.
I am buzzing for tomorrow.
No, and everyone that I've spoke to, Carney, it's a Rangers fan that's going this week. It's as Jamie says, every game now, that Aberdeen game, it felt like a European night, and I think every game at Ibrox till the end of the season, we need to play our part, and we will play our part and roll the team hopefully on to winning at Ibrox. But Jamie kind of teed us up for the Europa League. But before we get into the Europa League, it is my favourite part of the podcast. Time for a word from our sponsors. 2024 is here in full swing, and that means it's time for a New Year's resolution. Check in with our friends at Manscaped. It's never too late to level up your grooming game. Manscaped's new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the page on confidence this year. Whether you're going for a trim or that clean-shaven look, this trimmer has you covered. Trust by over 10 million men worldwide, including us. Now it's your time to get a grip of your grooming with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use code CLUB22 for 20% off and free shipping. Introducing Manscaped's 5th generation lawnmower. It's not just a trimmer, it's your grooming sidekick. Equipped with 2 skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little bit off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. And yes, it's waterproof too, so you can take in a shower. And for men who want the full grooming experience, look no further than Manscaped's Performance Package 5.0. In this grooming kit, you'll get the trusted lawnmower, Manscaped's ear and nose hair trimmer, and essential aftercare products, the Crop Soother Lotion and Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant. Yes, it's deodorant for your balls. Bet you didn't think you needed that. As a gesture for the new year, they even threw in 2 free gifts, the Boxers 2.0 and the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag. Let's face it, resolutions might come and go, but a well-groomed you is here to stay thanks to Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUB22 at manscaped.com. Embrace a new you and definitely embrace a new trimmer courtesy of Manscaped. And thank you very much, Stevie T. During that, I just clocked that. Stevie T, yeah. Very much appreciated. And yes, hopefully there's 3 points tomorrow.
See, because you've not been on in a while, I was so tempted to put something in because I thought he'll not read
it before. I knew it. I thought you would.
I was sitting, I was going, he's not been on. The last night when I was sending it, I was like, I should probably put something in there because he'll read it out.
What I do on a Friday is I print it off at work and I have a scan through it. So if there is any dodgy ones in, I'll just cross it off.
Yeah, Stevie T, thank you so much, by the way. That's fantastic. Cheers, mate.
No, much appreciated, Stevie T. That's brilliant. But yes, moving on, Jamie did mention about Europa League nights at Ibrox. The Europa League theme tune was back today, Carney. I actually miss Ryan. Ryan usually puts in the group chat the Europa League theme tune, which I did miss today from.
We'll need to get him to do that on air one time because the rendition of it is fantastic.
Yeah, well, forget Dublin. He did say he would come on and do it, so it is very good. But yeah, the Europa League draw is back. It feels miles, like ages ago we were in that Europa League, obviously because we missed the playoff round because we topped the group. Rangers have been drawn against Benfica, so they missed a couple of big hitters, but Benfica still a decent team. They're top in the Portuguese league at the moment. Benfica, we did play them back in 2020 in a couple of bizarre games where we went out there and were 3-1 up. They were down to 10 men, and we somehow managed to make an arse of it, and they went 3 each. And then the home tie, this was during COVID, we went 2-0 up. Carney, your pal Kamal Roof scored a screamer in that game. But we still managed to draw that game 2 each. The controversy, and I'll come to you, Jamie, first, before we come in the podcast, was the dates were announced, which is the away leg is first because we were seeded. So it's 8 o'clock on the 7th. But the one that's got everyone talking on Twitter so far tonight, I've seen the home tie is on the 14th and it is a 5:45 kickoff. So I think there'll be a lot of half days been taken at work that day. And what's your thought on Benfica as well?
I mean, but Benfica, firstly, going back to the Europa League theme tune, by the way, absolute certified banger. I think we should get Ryan singing that on stage at the next live night, possibly. I could be an opener. But no, I think Benfica, I think somebody said in the pod today, not the best tie, but certainly not the worst tie. I think if we go out there, maybe squeeze a draw, don't concede too many, getting any team back at Ibrox, we can do the job. Onto the 5:45 kickoff. Like, obviously, it's out with the board and Rangers' hands, but it's just there's going to be a lot of half days getting taken that day. I'm in a good position that I can work flexi time, so I can start early. But no, it's a bit of a pain in the arse to folk that work obviously shifts in a wee bit later. But I'm sure they're going to be wanting to take a wee half day annual leave to get down there because that night Ibrox is going to be absolutely bouncing, mate.
Yeah, and 5:45 in Glasgow, you're hitting rush hour traffic at this time. I mean, from 3 o'clock onwards in Glasgow, that M8's gridlocked, so it's going to be horrific. It really is. But Nicky, obviously your thoughts on Benfica, but looking at Benfica, they were obviously in the Champions League. They were in with Real Sociedad, Inter, and Salzburg. They finished third. They scraped third. Real Sociedad actually topped the group, and Inter were second. They played Toulouse in the playoff round there. They won 2-1 at home, and then they drew 0-0 away just the other night to get through. So what's your thoughts on Benfica and the 5:45 kickoff time?
I agree with Jamie. I think it could have been better. It could have been worse. I think you look at potentially AC Milan, it would have been a glamour tie, but I think they would have been tough. I think Roma would have been tough as well. I think on the flip side, you look at maybe Karabag or maybe Marseille, who are not faring too well in the French league, maybe would have been slightly better. But it's kind of middle of the road. I think in reality, there won't be any easy games at this stage. We've obviously get the massive benefit that by finishing top of the group, you miss that kind of playoff round. But there won't be any easy games. I think if you look at the Europa League, I think it gets stronger every year. I think you look at the last kind of 16, the teams are getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And it's just a consequence of the Champions League, the money they're pumping into it. I mean, you could stick your mortgage on the last 8 of the Champions League every single year, couldn't you? So I don't think there will be any easy ties. I think, Ali, you're right. We have a bit of history there. I think 2-2 at Ibrox, 3-3 away under the old away goals rules. If that was a knockout, we would have technically went through. But I know that's obviously been removed. I think it was Darwin Núñez who tore us a bit of a new one over there, if I recall correctly. And obviously he's doing some wonderful things, but some not so wonderful things in the Premier League with Liverpool at the minute. So they're a good side. They will be a good side, as you say. They're top of the Portuguese league. There will be no mugs, but it's a good one for us. I think it's a bit of a glamour tie. I mean, Benfica are a big club, right? You mentioned they've been in the Champions League. They've won the Portuguese league however many times. So yeah, it will be a really good one for fans, as you say. The frustration is just going to be that kick-off at home. Is it going to put certain people off, or people not be going to get there because of work or location or whatever they are? Obviously the traffic and getting in and around Ibrox at that time will be pretty chaotic. So that's the only frustration. But whilst we could have get better and we could have get worse draws, I honestly think we could get a result against any of the 8 teams. I honestly do. And as Jamie says, I think if we can go over there, we can get a result, i.e. a draw over there, then I fancy us to beat anybody at Ibrox at the minute, particularly in the Europa League. Maybe Man City or Real Madrid might be a step too far, but I would fancy us to give anybody in the Europa League a game, particularly at Ibrox.
Yeah, Rangers have got an extremely good record against Portuguese teams in modern times. But I'd like somebody different. I always like somebody different who maybe we've not played in a while. Obviously, Benfica we played in 2020. But it's a winnable tie for me. The 5:45 kickoff isn't great. I'm sure Celtic had to play one of these kickoff times a couple of years ago at Parkhead. I'm pretty sure they had to do that as well. So it'll be interesting. But the benefit for me, Carney, is keep the tie alive in the first leg and bring them back to Ibrox with all us behind them.
Yeah, I'm just glad it's not Prague, mate. To be honest, I'm delighted that it's not, because I don't want to play them again. I've played them about 100 times in the past few years. No, look at when I seen the draw, I went, well, yeah. Obviously, they're performing well. They're a good team. I think everybody really in the competition just now is very much classed as a good team, or a very decent team at the least. So no, I mean it's a tough ask, but it's what it's all about, isn't it? The later stages of a European competition, it's where you want to be, it's what you want to be involved in. I'm looking forward to it, as I say, but I can't really add in more than the boys have already said. It's keep the tie alive in the first leg, get it back to Ibrox, and literally anything can happen. We've seen some very, very special nights on a Thursday at 8 p.m. kickoffs, but not 5:45. That'll be a new one. But anyway. We've seen some special nights, and Ibrox can do amazing things on a Thursday. It's always good. So no, I'm looking forward to it, mate. I'm looking forward to it. Not looking forward to the kickoff time. I do think that's absolutely ridiculous. It really is. There's not really any sort of way around it, apart from it's going to be an absolute ball ache. It really is. Yourself and I, Ali, have to cross that fabled M8 to M74 junction every single day of our lives, and you're right, from like 3:30, 4 o'clock onwards, it's just bonkers. It really is. So yeah, to add 50,000 people trying to get to Ibrox and get a parking spaces and etc., it's a nightmare. And it's just there's loads of other things I need to sort out. Childcare. I shouldn't be saying that live on air, but I'm going to need to sort somebody out because I'm going to the football, unfortunately. So yeah, it's not ideal. When I seen it, I was like, something I could have done without. But anyway, you've got to do it. I suppose the things you do to go and follow Rangers. But I'm looking forward to it, mate. As I say, it's what it's all about. Nicky's right. You can probably class this as a bit of a glamour tie. Would have been nice to, honestly, see if we'd have got Milan, I'd be absolutely buzzing. I know a lot of people think, oh, that's the toughest, it could be the toughest game, but it doesn't really matter. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of what you want. You want to play the best, and you've got to beat them all if we're going to get to Dublin, eh?
There's Cliff Renfrew there, can I just seen that all the way from Los Angeles.
Well,
jealous.
I don't
He's
even
away
know
up.
what that is.
He lost. It's going up for Los Angeles.
I'll find it.
He's rivaling Justin Muir in Texas, to be honest. I'll say that. For Los Angeles, there he is. I can't believe you missed that, can you? Anyway, moving on from Los Angeles back to sunny Glasgow. Before we come on to the Hearts game, there was a thing going around Twitter, Carney, that you shared in the group chat this week. There we go. In terms of, I think it was the overrated player, underrated player, and a lot of folk were saying, well, you know who. So we just thought tonight, for a bit of fun, we'll all have our say on the 5 categories, or just a quick sentence on each one of it. So first of all, we'll do the overrated player. So Jamie, who is your overrated player? And this is under Clermont as well. Overrated player and a quick reason why. So
I'm going to go for Raskin here, by the way. But like, if it was earlier on the season, it would not have been my answer. I've swayed away from Cantwell because he's had a bit of a purple patch in terms of playing well. But yeah, I think Raskin. I think he's beginning to look overrated, especially since he's came back from injury. I know we might have to give him a wee bit of leeway because he's been injured, but I think any time that he's come on in the last couple of months, he's looked pretty average. The game that sticks out in my mind is Easter Road. He was terrible. He put the ball out about 5 or 6 times. So Raskin's mine.
Okay.
Sorry, any Raskin fans.
And everyone in the comments, we have not told each other what we've picked here. Jamie, I've picked Raskin as well. For me, I don't think he's hit the heights at all for me. So yeah, it was Raskin for me. Nicky, who's your overrated player?
I've got a bit of a bold one here. I think the rest of them you could probably guess, but I was torn between Raskin and one other. I've actually went Fabio Silva here. Now, bear with me. I am not saying I think Fabio Silva is bad. I probably the expectations higher than what I've seen of Fabio Silva. 35 million quid, Premier League player, hot shot in Portugal. Jamie will love me here. I'm at the point where I'm going, I kind of want Dessers to start games other than Fabio Silva. Honestly, and it's weird because Dessers is so frustrating. He misses a lot of chances, but he gets in the position. You think of the chances. Dessers come on against St Johnstone, had 3 or 4 really good chances. I can't really remember Fabio Silva having one. So I'm not by any way saying that I think Fabio Silva is a bad player. I still think there's every opportunity he will score goals and contribute for us for the rest of the season. But I've expected a wee bit more, to be brutally honest.
Yeah, that's Nicky blacklisted by the Wolves fans as well. So that I was going to say Ryan Carney, your overrated player. A quick sense.
You've not read out all the questions at one time, which kind of ruins my joke because the answer to all of these questions is Dessers. You will know what I mean by that when we get through all of them, but the answer to all of them is Dessers. If I'm being serious, one that I've seen getting a bit of praise from other people just for a few good performances, but for me still, is Rabbi Matondo. I can't take Carney. I can't take to him. I can't take to him. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Sometimes you get that with players. But for me, I'm like, you still don't do enough. You really still don't do enough. I don't get it. I don't. Also, I was getting criticised left, right and centre the other night when me and Nicky were talking about Scott Wright as well. And like, don't bash the guy and all that. I'm sorry, the guy's just not good enough to play for us. But right now, for a guy that would be in for a shout or starting in the first team, mine would be Rabbi Matondo.
Right. Jamie, underrated player. I see the time in the corner there. So
I'm going Big Balogun, by the way. I think he's massively underrated. Sure. Massively underrated because I remember when he was coming back, Bill brought him back, and folk were honestly up in arms. I've never seen a bigger negative fan reaction on Twitter than when Balogun came back. And I was thinking, like, he played the 55 season and he played a massive amount of games that season. He's solid. He does a job. He gets the club. Do you know what I mean? I just think like there was a lot of slander for Balogun at the start of the season, and he's come in and he's performed. Obviously, he's been in and out of the team, but I just think he's just a great big player.
Good
Very
shout. Good shout. I've went with his teammate, and he gets a lot of he gets pelters, I think, Jamie, and he has for years. Connor Goldson for me. Take Connor Goldson out of that Rangers team, especially that back line, and look what you're missing. So that is me, Connor Goldson. Nicky, who's your underrated player?
It's funny you say that, mate. See, I'm reading the comments while she's going through, and the amount of people that had Goldson in the overrated, and you've got him in the underrated. It just shows you how people change. Very quick one, underrated. James Tavernier. I can't believe there's people who still say bad words about him. You look at the last, I think Scott and I spoke about it, the last 6 goals Rangers have scored, he's contributed to 5 of them, 3 assists, 2 goals. I would still say he is underrated in this team and amongst their fan base.
Carney, Dessers for underrated, no?
Yeah, Dessers is the answer to all these questions, he is, but really, I agree with Nicky. Tavernier, I can't add any more than what Nicky said there. James Tavernier is by far the most underrated player even at Ibrox now.
There you go. I've already noise fuck up in the comments. There's Mike 72, not agree with me. So.
That's what it's all about. It's fun.
That's just all about opinions, Mike.
Something different.
You don't have to agree with me.
Don't worry about the time, mate.
Even though I'm correct, Mike. So there you
go. If we go over time tonight, we go over. It doesn't matter. This is good. I enjoy this stuff.
Oh, right, Jamie, back at you. Overhated player. Can kind of be underrated as well, but overhated player at Rangers.
You know who I'm going to say here, by the way. Overhated is my man. I can't believe you threw the shade at him. Most of Ibrox at the start of the season, he is massively overhated. The Nigerian Nightmare. Put some respect on his name, by the way. Put some respect on his name. And I'm actually, I know you're asking these one by one. You're going to circle back to me, but he's the best worst player as well. He's 100%. Like I think, as Nicky was saying, like he came on against St Johnstone. The positions that he gets himself into playing off the shoulder, it's just like he looks a proper number 9. If you could somehow, I mean, I know Silva's not scored a lot of goals, but if you could somehow kind of put the two of them together in a bit of a hybrid, but really, like you just know he's one of the most frustrating players I think we've ever signed is Big Dessers, but he's my man, so I'm sticking by him.
That's fine. Mike still can't get over me saying Goldson. He's still having a go at me there. What's Rangers' defensive record this season? There you go. But my overhated player is, and I don't know why he splits support so much at times, is Tav for me. He does get a lot of hate, Tav, with the Rangers support because of his defensive qualities. As we've said a lot of times, if Tav was as good at defending as he was attacking, he wouldn't be at Rangers. So for what that guy gives Rangers, and when he goes, you will miss James Tavernier. So for me, the most overhated player is Tav. Nicky?
Jamie's going to be crashing at my house tonight. I think I'm going Dessers as well. Again, yeah, I think I by no way is he perfect, the big man. But he's scoring vital goals. He's scoring critical goals. He gets a lot of hate. And we kind of need to get behind him because it's him and Fabio Silva. They're the two that's going to lead us to any trophies by the end of the season. So yeah, overhated. I'm going Big Dessers.
Carney?
I've done it wrong way round, as professional as I always am on this podcast. My underrated player was actually meant to be McCausland, is what I meant to say. I think McCausland's very underrated. I think people give him a lot of stick for the age that he is and what he is. And my overhated player is James Tavernier. So sorry, I've done that the wrong way round, but yes.
Okay. Right, and Jamie, for the last one, we'll just take the two of them, the best and worst player. Obviously, I'd assume you've got D9 as your best player, but yes, best player and worst player.
Well, I mean, for best player, I'm gonna step away. I'm gonna step away from D9. I'm gonna step away from D9. He obviously in my eyes, I think he's gonna come good. I think he's gonna score the goals that are important this season. But for me, I'm gonna go back to Tav. I'm gonna go back to Tav since Clement came in. He's just been proper captain material again. He's looked fitter. I think at the start of the season looked a little bit slow and laboured in terms of going forward as well. I just think he's had a huge resurgence under the new gaffer, and he's been absolutely brilliant. So he's my best player, and I think probably if you ask me end of the season, I think he's still going to be my best player.
And who's your worst player?
I'm my worst player. I'm gonna go with Scotty's from earlier on. By the way, I think Matondo's just for me. He's I'm sorry, mate. So he's not up to much. Like, and he's been given a lot of chances to come on and shine. I know, like the goal that he scored. I think he scored St Johnstone earlier on in the season. Scored against Copenhagen in the friendly, but I just think he's a bit of a diddy. Not gonna lie, even more a diddy than Desers, to be fair.
Shocking, Jamie.
Sorry, mate.
Well, Jamie, but that's you gone now.
And thanks very much. Sorry.
On the bad books. Thanks very much, Donald Rice, as well, for the
cheers, Donald. Thank you
as well. No, much appreciated. My best player, I'm going to get slaughtered in the comments here again, probably. So, my best player, because I think when he's on form, I think he makes Rangers tick. And I think
Jamie Murphy. Is it Jamie Murphy? No,
it's not Jamie Murphy. No,
it's not.
It's a guy that will come on to in the presser. Todd Cantwell for me. I think when he's on song, he makes Rangers tick for me. Obviously, Butland's an obvious one, but outfield players for me, I'm going for in terms of. So Cantwell, my worst player. I was looking around the squad. I know you're going to make Matondo. Matondo's way down my list, Jamie, as well. So don't worry. But Scott Wright for me, I think it's been summed up with Scott Wright where he's started the last couple of games and he's done nothing. I think Scott Wright's a good player to bring on with 20 minutes to go, but as a starting player, he's not up to it, and he's a guy we'll need to move on in the summer. Nicky, best and worst.
Best resurgence of Thursday night, John Lundstrom for me. I think Scott and I again spoke about it. I think Jack Butland, unanimous, is definitely conversation for Player of the Year. I think Lundstrom and Tav are slowly catching up since Clement came in. I think their performances over the last few months have been brilliant. And I think for worst, I agree with you, Ali. I've put Scott Wright. I think one of the key qualities of Clement is the improvement we've seen in players. Actually, I think Scott Wright's get worse. And I hate saying that. I honestly do. I think you look at the St Mirren game, as you say, Ali, you look at St Johnstone at the weekend, hooked at half-time in both games. He's just not contributing at the minute. We should just freeze him, stick him in one of the Cairo chambers and just roll him out for a Scottish Cup semi-final if we manage to get there, in my opinion.
Carney?
Dessers and Dessers, mate. Yes, very much. Dessers and Dessers. No, and a serious note, best player, I've got to agree with Nicky. I think just now, the best player for me, an undroppable player for me just now is John Lundstrom. I just don't think he can be dropped. You've got to give a special shout out to Jack Butland as well. I think our defensive record is obviously speaking for itself, the way things are going. So probably between they two, probably between Jack Butland and Looney just now on form, and since Clement came in. Worst player, there's just no doubt that it's James Stewart. You just caught my eye there and distracted me. Yeah. Thanks very much, James. That's very much appreciated, mate. Thank you so much. Scott Wright, there's not an argument to be put forward, I'm afraid. And it's no disrespect to the guy, he just doesn't have the quality that we need going forward. Obviously, Lammers is still our player, so he is very much our worst.
To me, he's you can't pick him.
He's gone. I know. I know. I always have to bash Lammers at least once a week on a podcast, or else I don't feel normal. But no, Scott Wright for me, he's just. He has got worse. I can't really disagree with what Nicky said. I don't get it with him. I really don't. He's nothing. He's just nothing. He's got a bit of pace, and that's it. I don't think there's any real quality there. So yes, sorry Scotty, but yeah, Scott Wright.
Yeah, so everyone strap yourself in for Scott Wright putting on our
to start tomorrow.
Yeah. Also, every time we bash somebody, they always come good. Usually,
when it's good when you do stuff like that, is everybody gets involved in the chat. The chat was going fucking mental there with people saying stuff, which is good. That's good. I really enjoy when we do stuff like that.
It's a bit of a laugh. It's all about opinions, but it's a bit of a laugh. We've seen it on Twitter this week, so we thought we'd have a wee bit of a laugh with it. But moving on to the more serious things, it is Hearts that come to Ibrox this Saturday, 3:00, which we all like. The weather looks decent tomorrow as well, so it's all looking good. Rangers are top of the league. 2 points clear Hearts. The presser, I just should really look out for injury news. Cantwell is the big one. Out for 3 to 4 weeks with a hamstring injury. I'm not surprised because he's been booted in pretty much every game he's played the last few weeks. Jamie and Carney obviously done wonders on Tuesday night to Kamar Roof because he is
You're
back
welcome.
in the squad.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Clement, they did
Those
ask Clement.
Injections helped, didn't they, mate?
They did, mate. Yeah, the handful of steroids I gave him as well, and the caffeine pills, they've all seemed to have worked.
Yeah, well, they did ask. He was asked again about Kamar Roof in terms of can he play tomorrow, and he went, "Yeah, he can." I don't think he's going to start it, but he can contribute if they need him. So that was interesting. Big Rahman Badge, whatever he's called for STV, was obviously in having a go at. Clement was going on about it's the first time Rangers will be underdogs in terms of Benfica. So Big Rahman had to go back and ask, well, were you underdogs against Celtic? And Clement kind of pushed him aside and said, well, it was pretty much a 50-50 game, so we weren't underdogs there, which was correct. So again, these guys and these pressers are ridiculous for me. But looking at Hearts, I mean, Hearts are a fantastic run. I mean, you've got to give Hearts credit. I mean, when we played Hearts in the semi-final, I think it was, just before then, I think Hearts fans were calling for Stephen A. Smith to be removed as manager at that point. And you just look at the run they're on at the moment, Hearts. They have won 9 games on the trot in all competitions, Hearts. We've played them 3 times, all under Clement, I think. The last one at Ibrox was a 2-1 win. Danilo, Tav penalty and Danilo in the 92nd minute. We've beaten them in the League Cup final and we've beaten them 1-0 away at Tynecastle. The last time Hearts were defeated was the 9th of December in the league, which was by the Sheep. And Hearts, obviously, they sit third, 11 points behind Celtic, but they're 14 points clear of 4th place. Kilmarnock, Carney tomorrow. This is why you go to the football. This is where we are. Hearts will be bang up for it. They're a fantastic run. Hearts will fancy themselves tomorrow, and they should do because they're in a fantastic run, Hearts. But this is what 3 o'clock this Saturday is all about, and Rangers have the chance to go 5 points clear.
Yeah, I would say it's like half Old Firm feeling, if you know what I mean by that about tomorrow. It's kind of like a really good feeling that I've got about tomorrow. I can't wait. It's been a long week for me. There's a lot of stuff going on work as well. It's just been a long week and it's all counting down to Saturday, and I couldn't wait until I did the podcast tonight, or if I was even going to be on and do the podcast tonight, and then it's like, right, it's the game tomorrow. It's the game tomorrow. Look, it's going to be a tough game. It really is. But this is what it's all about. Generally, this is what it's all about. I think we won't learn a load about Rangers tomorrow, but I think there's potential for us to see how much Clement's mentality change that he's done with the team is working, because this is probably as big as it gets before the Old Firm. Let's be honest. I know the Kilmarnock game, I do get that. That's a tricky tie to go to. But this one, 3 o'clock on a Saturday, the last one for a long time, I think. I don't know when the next 3 o'clock on a Saturday is. But this is what it's all about, mate.
Next Saturday.
Are we home? Is it 3 o'clock? Are we?
Motherwell.
No. Oh, aye, sorry. I take that back then. I take that back. I take that. Shows you how much I do with my prep, doesn't it? Right, even at that though, I think this is just a game that you go to Ibrox for. I think the atmosphere is going to be amazing tomorrow. We're sitting top of the league. It's the first time we've been there, been back at Ibrox since that's happened, and yeah, everything about it's just leading to a very, very kind of mouth-watering tie, and it's about time that you're kind of looking forward as much as you are to going to Ibrox as the way we all are. Not that we haven't been recently, but I feel like it's took a new level. I feel like we've took another step now to just how excited we all are to get there tomorrow. I can't wait for it, mate. Generally, I can't wait for it. I'm really, really looking forward to it. It'll be a tough game. You're right to give Hearts credit because they are on an incredible run of form. But I fancy Rangers to do business tomorrow. I really do.
Yeah, Jamie. Obviously, Hearts will bring a good support. They'll be bang up for it. You'll be bang up for it tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a fantastic atmosphere on Ibrox, especially before the start of the game. But as I say, Carney, this is why you go to football, isn't it?
Somebody's just said in the chat there, our Hearts can have a go. And do you know what? Like, I hope they come and have a go, because Saturday 3 p.m. game, as Scott said, like, there's nothing better. There really is nothing better than when we're riding high, top of the table as well, playing really great football. I think if it's an open game, it's going to be an absolute belter. I mean, I'm in the camp of that. I do believe that Hearts a bit of a one-man team. We've seen Shankland's form is actually frightening. We spoke about the guy on the pod for months on end. We wanted him in the door at Ibrox. We're going to need to keep him quiet. Obviously, the last time that they came to Ibrox, Radvan got caught under the ball and he scored. I think it was quite early on, and he had an absolute doozy of a game that day. He was amazing. Everything about his play, hold up play, linking the play, but they sat very deep. So it'll be interesting to see how Hearts set up tomorrow at Ibrox if they play a more cautious game and sit and try and hit us on the break. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be an absolute belter.
Yeah, Nicky, what's your thoughts on how Hearts will play tomorrow? I mean, Hearts are 14 points clear of their nearest challenger in Kilmarnock. It's a free hit for Hearts. If you're a Hearts fan tomorrow, it's a free hit for them tomorrow. They've won 9 games in the trot. Why not go and have a go at Rangers tomorrow if you're a Hearts fan? And there he is, Jim Sloan. Thank you very much, Jim. Much appreciated.
Cheers, Jim.
But,
thank you, Jim.
But yeah, Nicky, how do you think Hearts will approach this game tomorrow? For me, I think they'll have a go at us tomorrow.
Yeah, like the guys, I'm buzzing to get to Ibrox tomorrow. I'm taking Harris, my eldest kid, so this is his second game. So, no, really looking forward to it. Yeah, they are the most informed team in the league over 10 games. I think, as you say earlier, they've won 9, drawn 1, right? They've taken 40 points for, 42, so, or run about that. They are performing very, very well. I think we spoke about this a few weeks ago, didn't we? Where we said about playing Hibs. We quite like playing Hibs because they come and have a go, and we tend to fare quite well, as opposed to playing some of the opposition that do the kind of low block that makes it really, really difficult. I suspect that Hearts will come and have a go tomorrow, and I think that will suit us. I actually have quite a good feeling for tomorrow. I've got a feeling Rangers might win this quite comfortably. I do think it'll be a cracker, and I think I agree with Jamie as well. I think Scott and I spoke about it. Hearts are on a brilliant run of form, but Shankland is dragging them through games. You look at the amount of goals he's scored, and I've seen a few graphics that were up on kind of Twitter this week. He's far outperforming any other striker in the league at the minute. And it's not just his goals. You look at his all-round play. Jamie alluded to it, how good he was in the last game at Ibrox. He is dragging them through games at the moment. But I've got a good feeling. I think John Souttar, who I suspect will play tomorrow, I would put him on him. I think John Souttar is a very aggressive defender. I think he could contain him. He's strong, he's fast. And I think if you shut up Lawrence Shankland, I think we're on for getting a really positive result tomorrow. So fingers crossed.
Yep, and I've seen there, Justin Muir, as always. Thank you very much for the kind donation. God bless America. Brilliant.
I've just realised my maths were horrendous back there, by the way, because 9 wins and a draw is certainly not 40 points. But I think to allude to the fact over 10 games, I think they're the most informed team in the league.
Is that right? What's that? Is that right?
We've had a hard time in the comments. I thought, here's another.
No, listen.
The podcast.
You can tell Nicky went to school in Greenock with me and Scott, by the way.
Yeah.
Massive, that shocking.
Yeah. So, as we've covered it, let's go on to team scores and first goal scorer. I'll go first. I think we'll be pretty close, to be honest. Butland in goal for me. Tav, Goldson. I think Balogun might come back in, so I'm because he played in the B team, so I'm going Balogun. Yilmaz, Lundstrom, Diomande for me. I did have Cantwell, for being honest, but until I found out today. So Tom Lawrence plays in the 10. Cortez on the left, McCausland on the right, and Jamie will be absolutely delighted here. D9, Dessers for me plays through the middle because I think Silva's more suited for Kilmarnock on Wednesday. I'm going 2-0 Rangers and Jamie's man to score first. Jamie, what is your team scores and first goal scorer?
So back line, I'm going to go Butland, Tav. I'm going to go Goldson. I think Souttar will stay in there. Ridvan will be back in at left back. I'm going to stick with. Obviously, I know Cantwell's not playing the 10. I'm going to stick with Lawrence and Looney sitting a bit deeper. I'm going to go Diomande a bit further forward, by the way, because I think he showed what he can do in that game in Perth. I really think that he seems like a new utility player for us, kind of in the mould of Big Sterling. He can play pretty much wherever. McCausland on the right. Who am I going to go with on the left? I'm going to go for your man Matondo, right? I'm going to go for your man Matondo just to try and dismay the rumours that he's a bad player.
Have you forgot about Cortez? Yeah.
Oh, actually, I forgot about Cortez. Do you know why that?
There's no way you're playing Matondo over Cortez. No chance.
Do you know why that is? It's because somebody in the chat earlier on said Cortez. It's a shame that he's not in the Europa squad. I was like, bastard, he's not in the Europa squad. But that's it. The chat threw me off. Cortez left, and then I think my man D9 will come back in up front. I think Silva as a 9 hasn't been up to much yet for me. He's not scored enough. I don't think it's his. I've said it on the pod before. I don't think it's his natural position. So I think my man D9 coming back and having a strong game. I think it's going to be 3-1 Rangers. I think Hearts will score tomorrow. And I'm going the Nigerian Nightmare to score first.
I'll take that. Carney?
The back five, Suter and Ridvan, Goldson, Tav, Butland. Midfield, it's difficult, this one. I don't think Diamandi's merited any reason not to start the game. It will be Lundstrom, 100% it will be. I do like Lawrence in that 8. I'm not going to lie. And I think there's a conversation to be had about what about playing Silva behind Dessers and with Cantwell's absence, but I think that's slightly unfair to Diomande as well, but you'll know where I'm coming from with that. I think Lawrence kind of has to start in that 8 or 10, whatever they choose to do, but I think the only one that I'm unsure about is will it be Diomande or will it be Silva? I think it would be interesting to see Silva there. Whether it's the game for it, I'm not 100% sure. It would throw a bit of a spanner in the works, I think, for Hearts prep if Silva was to play that little bit deeper, and especially if Kamar Roof's going to be on the bench, surely he'll be able to last 20 minutes if he has to come on to play up front. So I'm unsure about that in the midfield. The front three, the front three for me is Cortez, Dessers and McCausland. I'm going for 3-1 Rangers, and I'm going for Tom Lawrence to score a wonder goal for the opener.
Oof, I take that. Nicky, your team first goal scorer?
Yeah, similar probably to the guys. I think Cantwell, obviously whilst frustrating, has probably made it slightly easier, because I think if Cantwell had been fit, you've got Lundstrom and Cantwell, I think it would have been harsh to drop Diomande, but I also think it would be harsh not to bring Tom Lawrence back in. I think Butland is a given. Tav, Goldson, Suter, Ridvan, back 4. I almost go, do we need to play a 10? Could you play Lundstrom as the sitter and play 2 8s and Lawrence and Mandy, potentially? And they do a bit of rotation. They both support in the box. So I think that will be the midfield 3. And like the guys, I think McCausland, Dessers and Cortez will be the front 3. I'm going 3-0. And I think Cortez will go off the mark. I think he will be first scorer tomorrow.
Ooh. I actually felt for Cortez at McDermott Park because he was playing in that ploughed field and he couldn't play football on it.
Yeah, so. I felt for the 22 boys having to play in that. Every single player who had to play up there.
The guys that are ball players and like to run with a ball like Cortez, he probably thought, what the hell is this? But we'll be back to Ibrox because Ibrox is like a bowling green at the moment. So yes, but that has come. We were way over the hour tonight. So they can maybe tell us something positive at Rangers at the moment. We went over the hour. So yes, tomorrow is a big game for Rangers. As I said, we can go 5 points clear tomorrow. But before I thank my guests for coming on tonight, I would like to thank everyone in the chats, everyone for the kind donations. Much appreciated. But yes, my guests, Jamie, thank you very much for coming on tonight. And I think I may be seeing you before the game tomorrow, possibly.
Thank you very much, mate. Yes, you're going to be seeing me for a pint in the Viceroy. I'll see you about 1 o'clock-ish. I think mood's high at the moment, boys, so let's just keep it going. Let's get 5 points in front and then back over to that mob on Sunday.
Yep. Nicky, thanks very much for coming on. We'll send you a calculator next time.
An enjoyable pod. Actually, one of the fans has dug me out. I've obviously seen a graphic that they've collected 40 points since Clement came in. So my mathematics skills still there. It's obviously just thrown me, much like Cortez not been in the European squad through Jamie. So I'm going to jump on that bandwagon as well.
It's easily done. We've got umpteen bloopers between us for this podcast over the years, so it's easily done. Last but not least, Mr. Carney, thanks very much for showing him some dedication tonight and coming on when you didn't have to come on.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it, mate. Really enjoyed it. Can't wait for tomorrow. Thank you again. I'll just echo Ali's words. All the donations tonight, fantastic. Really enjoyed tonight's chat. And quick question, got asked where did the pod name come from? Tom Valance was the first ever Rangers captain. He used to own the club at 22 on Paisley Road West, which is now the Viceroy Bar. That should tell you everything you need to know. Get into them tomorrow. 5 points clear by dinner time on Saturday. That will do just bloody nicely. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, as Carney says, it's there for Rangers tomorrow. It's 3 o'clock. It's on a Saturday. The weather's to be good. We'll be buying up for it, as will Hearts as well. I think it's set up for a cracking game of football tomorrow. I really think it is. But it's for you, Rangers. Just win tomorrow, Rangers. That's all I'm asking. Go 5 points clear, and let's see what they're made of on the Sunday. But we'll be back for a match reaction. It will be me and Carney at least for a match reaction tomorrow. So yes. We have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and we will see you tomorrow.